Hello, how are you? Can you hear me okay? Okay. Ronnie's not feeling good, so I'm trying to talk a little bit lower. He's got a stomach bug. We've had better, honey. We have had better. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Terry. Hi, Rachel. I would like to do, um, I would like to do another ASMR video when it warms up, which should be Wednesday or Thursday. Um, there's a lot of woods around here would be perfect to do that. Yeah, Terry. It's just disgusting. I was looking at apartments on Facebook today, and this one apartment is $3,200. Literally $3,200 because it's Bloomsburg, college town. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, oh God. Hello, Joe. How are you? Now, I did message someone today about an apartment in McAdoo. I said a friend seen the sign and I wanted more info about it. I don't know like what the rent is or um, anything like that. Hello, Geraldine. How are you? Hello, Cleo. And what I've been running into the past few days basically is like you might see an apartment that seems like more reasonable compared to most of them. And then as you get into the fine detail, it's security, first month's rent, last month's rent. Um, some aren't even talking about like the credit thing. Um, and then other ones are like, well, must have three times the rental income. So say the rent is 695. So your total monthly income has to be $2,100. And that's, I guess, assuming that like you have all these other utilities to pay too. So it's like, I don't know anyone that makes that kind of money, least of all in this area. So it's like, oh my God, like unbelievable. And the groups that I'm in, the real estate groups on Facebook, more and more people are saying, oh, should I start looking for a place now? My landlord is selling the property, and I'm like, yeah, I think you should. Like, PM me. I'll tell you everything we're going through, and like, don't think it can't happen to you. Thank you, Hoodie. Yeah, this is old. This is from Knobles. The ride that's on it. Actually, there's Oreo. Feisty is down my friend's house in Jim Thorpe, actually doing good. Surprisingly, this is the Impulse. Very scary ride. Very scary ride. I can't even think the last time I paid like say 500 for rent. It's just crazy. See, Terry, here's the weird thing. Okay. I was actually trying to improve my credit, not for any one particular reason, but just because I wanted to improve it. And, things happened and I had it up to where it was over 600 and I was actually proud of that. And, at some point when I get settled somewhere down the road, I'm going to try to work on it again. Um, but the thing is, like, it wasn't because of utilities or anything like that. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I honestly think Oreo and Feisty maybe needed a break from each other. Um, Feisty seems to be enjoying not being bullied, and she's also around children. Um, she never really was around small children, so that's kind of a new thing for her. She's warming up to children, which is good. And Oreo has just been chilling. Well, Geraldine, I want to believe that, so I hope it happens soon. Um, there is any of my subs that are here in PA. Does anyone know anything about not being able to stay longer than 2 weeks in a hotel? When we checked in Saturday evening, um, like we were told that we couldn't stay here longer than 2 weeks. Either it's something specific to this hotel or it's some law. I don't know because I know there is motels that you can if you can afford it. Well, apparently not this one. Unless you're a business person and you're here on work, um, then you can stay like an extended stay. But this particular one, no, not that I was planning on it because it's expensive, but just saying. Hello, KK. How are you? Yeah, now see, I don't know if any of them here in town are actually extended stay. I don't I don't know. Yes, yes, we are out of the apartment. Oh my God, that was a disaster. Oh, first off, I wanted to get a big U-Haul, do it all in one trip, be done. And U-Haul had none available when I reserved it. Now I find out afterwards that they could have called another location and have one brought up, and I could have reserved that, but they didn't do that for me or even tell me that they could. So, um, yeah, that was a nightmare. So we had a small one, and it took us 3 trips from Hazelton down to Chimthorpe, and then we used the U-Haul to bring the little bit of stuff that we kept with us here. And then from here, up to U-Haul to drop the U-Haul up. I put $50 worth of gas in, and yesterday an extra $182 disappeared out of my account. And I'm like, what? So I stopped there today and I said, please explain to me how we used over 200 miles. I'm sorry, I don't see it. Hazelton to Jim Thorpe and back is roughly, say, 32, 33 miles round trip. So there was 3 trips there, say 100 miles. Um, a stop at a Dollar General, which was actually on the way, so it wasn't out of the way. And then the other trip was here in town. And by my calculation, I want to say maybe 125 miles, not 216. So I said, okay, this is just crazy. Then they say to me, oh, well, you were moving on a Saturday. The rate per mile is up on the weekends. It's like $1.50 per mile, as compared to during the week, it's like 89 cents. I thought, well, you know what? Nobody told me that either. How nice you find things out after they help themselves to money from your account. Yeah, 170 is very high. I mean, there is a hotel here in Hazleton that's $50 a night, but it's not safe. Yeah, it's not safe. Like it's very decrepit, and like a lot of drug addicts use the hotel and everything. So, well, they claim because one, the rate's higher on a weekend. Yeah, like I said, it's $1.50 per mile, um, as compared to like during the week. But I almost had a heart attack when I seen that. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, sure. Just help yourself, like, yeah, here, open the window up, throw money out the window. Like, yeah, okay. So I left a note for the manager. I said I'd like her to look it over because I said it doesn't sound right. So, hello, Stacy. Thank you. I honestly would have to look it over, Terry. It was just such a crazy day. And then my friend asked someone to help us, and oh my God, he's just like weird. Um, and he smelled like cat urine. His jacket smelled like cat urine, and so it was annoying being in a U-Haul with them. Like, Hannah's driving left something to be desired. I'm looking out the window and I'm thinking, yeah, you're getting pretty close to that guardrail, buddy. I would like to be alive by the end of the night. Yeah, yeah. It was gross. It was just like, ew, yeah, yeah. That was definitely an experience. And then I messaged the owner of the old apartment, and I said to him, we moved out early Sunday morning. I said I left the keys in the mailbox. I didn't know it was going to rain, so I left the windows open a little bit, because the power is off, the refrigerator is plugged in, it's cleaned out and everything. But I just wanted to get some air in. I really didn't know it was going to rain. And he says, "Well, I'm away right now. I'll be in touch in a few days." I thought, oh, whatever, just give me my security deposit. You have your stupid property. Go charge somebody $1,000 for the flop house. I don't care. I'm out of there. You can have your property. Oh, thank you, Cleo. You know what, Cleo? Um, last, okay, weeks ago when I had a chat, I was trying to track down like if the payments were like showing up in my PayPal or whatever. Um, I'm gonna have to actually give you the link to PayPal because for whatever weird reason, when the payments show up in live chat, they don't get added on with my YouTube payment. So I'm going to have to, I don't know why it comes like that, but oops. Oh, sorry about that. Chrome unfortunately has, thank you, Cleo. Thank you so, so much. I don't know why it does that. Maybe I have to tweak something with my settings. Yeah, Terry, exactly. The last live that I did, I can never track that money down either. Yeah, I thought it automatically connects with PayPal. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe I have to check my settings before I go to bed. Maybe there's something I have to tweak. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so there's a stomach bug going around and poor Ronnie got it. Um, so that's not pleasant. It's been damp and dreary here and just icky. Well, no, Cleo. See, the money was never taken out of Terry's account and it never like showed up anywhere. And I asked Terry about it that time, and she had even checked and said, no, it never actually was taken. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I have something with, that's what I originally thought too, that it would be on your YouTube, but no. When Google pays you, that's just based on your ads. That has nothing to do with anything from live chat, I found out. So I am going to have to check that out. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yes, we are here. we are uh, we are alive and still looking for a place. And it's just very, very very frustrating. It's just like I feel relief that we're not there and we don't have to deal with him, but I'm also extremely nervous because after 2 weeks here, we don't know. Yeah, Susie, see, I put $50 worth of gas in to bring it up a little bit above where it originally was set because I tried to factor in um, going from the apartment to here and then from here back up to U-Haul. You know what, Terry? I wish it was that easy. I I really do. I wish it was that easy. Um, there's like so many there's just so many like waiting lists for everything. It's crazy. Messenger on Facebook. Um, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, KK. Thank you very, very much. Someone just asked me if I heard back about the apartment in McAdoo. And I said I messaged the first number, didn't hear anything. I'll message the other number. Hazelton, um, McAdoo is doable for a job. Full spare, Scranton, even. Um, One of the issues I keep running into though is like you have to have three times the total um, rental income. So like if your rent is 850, so you have to have like 2600 as your total household income, which is just crazy, like absolutely crazy. Thank you, Bunny. Thank you. Yeah, I've had a few people say something like, well, why don't you just leave the area? And it's like, why should we? No, we're born and raised here. Why should we have to leave? And where are we going to go? It's pretty much the same all over. You ask anyone in any state, like it's the same all over. So it's not something you can get away from. And when the eviction moratorium finally does end, end of June, I don't think it's going to be extended anymore. There's going to be a disaster. It's going to be bad. Yeah, I guess they're figuring that you'll have all your utilities paid too. So because a lot of them are pushing oil heat and gas heat. Now I don't mind electric heat because I paid for my own heat in the past. Electric. Um, Around here, oil can be expensive. Oil can be very expensive. Um, Gas can be too, especially if you've never had an account or it's been years since you had an account. Gas can be up there too. Carol, it was a non lease renewal eviction. It's non eviction because of owing rent or anything like that. No. Um, It's called non-lease renewal. And a lot of new landlords are taking advantage of that. That way they bypass the eviction moratorium and they can get people out of their property, fix them up a little bit, and then jack the rents up to whatever they want. So yes, we did. Everybody, well, 3 families out of 4. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of states, landlords are doing that because the CDC eviction moratorium only covers people who lost a job or lost hours because of the pandemic and they owe money. A non-lease renewal isn't covered by the eviction moratorium. Neither is, for example, if you damage property or anything like that. So on one side, the positive about it is there's not like a financial judgment against us, but the bad thing about it is you have no foot to stand on. And it's that gray area that the CDC never really thought about, you know. Um, they just thank you very much, Light in the Piazza. I love your name like that. That's very that's very like Italian sounding to me. Well, you know what the problem is, Cleo? The interest rates. It's it's the idea that people are coming from other states to a state like Pennsylvania and they could get maybe 2 or even 3 properties for what one would cost them in their state. And then they go by fair market value. So if say a comparable apartment is going for 800-900, well, they can charge that or even more. There's nothing to stop them. There's no rent stability. There's no rent control. And right now, the landlords and everything got the ball in their court. They're running the show. They really are. Hello, Steph. How are you? I seen a Reddit conversation last night. A group of landlords were talking about the eviction moratorium. And I didn't log in. I do have a Reddit account just to like read things. I didn't log in. I was just reading the thread. And it was interesting because this one landlord says to these people that are on this thread, I can see where the government's going to make it so that we can't do credit checks or background checks on people. And I'm reading this and I'm like, Billy. So I'm just reading this whole conversation, going through this whole thread of this group of landlords that are also irate over everything. And the one person says, "Well, why do you think that?" You know, and he says, because he said some liberals, he said, are going to be, screaming. He said about all these people being evicted. Next thing you know, he says, we won't be able to check their background. We're going to be forced to rent to whoever shows up to come to a property. He said, and that's when I'm getting out of the game. And I'm listening to like all this conversation with people. And I was like, wow, wow, like really? Wow. Some of them are very ruthless. Some of them are really, really ruthless. They really are. Carol, there is Section 8, but the problem is in my town, they have not taken Section 8 applications in years, honestly. And right now, Section 8 is not popular around here either. There's probably about 40, 50 people um, looking for Section 8 rentals. And a lot of new landlords in that don't want Section 8, don't want money from CEO. They don't want to be bothered with anything like that. So besides people like us in our situation, you have a bunch of Section 8 people that cannot find a rental. Hi, Victoria Rose. Yeah, I think the last time I seen anything about Section 8 taking applications, I want to say was like 2 years ago. And it was up in Wilkes-Barre. And I think it was for like one day. And people started lining up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Hello, Ripple Vanity. How are you, dear? Hello, Linda. I don't even know, Bunny, what it is right now here in Pennsylvania. I don't know. Well, unfortunately, like right now here in Pennsylvania, Section 8 isn't all that popular. A lot of landlords don't want that either. Um, there was a time years ago when I was on it where like landlords were clamoring for it. But these newer, see, these new landlords are different. I don't know if it's because they're from out of state. Um, I don't know. They're different. They're not like any of the landlords that I ever had in the past. It's probably not just like one specific thing, but they are different. Definitely, it just seems to be a business like to them. They don't care about the human aspect of it. It's all like the money. Oh, Judy, thank you. But you know what? There's so many people getting caught up in this that never thought um it would happen. And I think like the mom and pop landlords are, just thinking like, okay, we're just going to get out of the game. And maybe they only own, one property or maybe two. And so they're just like taking their money and running. You're right, Rebel Vanity. That is true. Now, like before we moved, well, like for 3 years we lived there. Never had an issue with hot water. Never. I think one time we didn't have water for a few hours, and that was because the neighbor upstairs had a leak, and they turned the water off so the plumber could come and fix um, plumbing upstairs. And it took hours for the water to get hot again. This guy, this Alex, has someone in an unmarked vehicle and everything fooling around with breakers and this and that. Next thing you know, the furnace starts grinding when you would turn the heat on, and through different times throughout the day, the water would be ice cold. The light keeps going out on the furnace. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, see, Music Lover, I can't even think. I think it's been over 2 years. If memory serves me correctly, might even be longer, but I think it's been about 2 years um, since they last actually um, took new applications. And it was such a rare event that people started lining up 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what? You are lucky if you're in something like that right now. You are very, very lucky. You really are. Yeah, these newer owners don't want to deal with CEO. They don't want to deal with Section 8. Uh, I'm thinking some of them probably wouldn't even accept payments from that ERAP program, to be honest. I've got a lot though because I'm registered with like Realtor, Trulia, Zillow, a lot of different sites, and I think it's Trulia says on the bottom, your your rent should only be about 30% of your income. So I figured it out. I went on a calculator and I said, okay, so I need to find an apartment for $237. Wow, where am I going to find that? If you're just going by my income, it would be $237.90. Let's see, when is the last time I ever had an apartment that cheap? When I was on Section 8. Yeah, now see, 750 is like on the low end here. From what I've seen online, it's probably pretty similar here. Maybe like 750. Um, See, I'm not eligible for that though. I'm only 56. Oh wow, really? Hmm. Okay, is that because of like a long waiting list? I'm with you on that. That's right. A young senior. You're right. We're on the young spectrum. You're right. Hello, Asia. Thank you. Yeah, that's terrible, KK. That is absolutely that's terrible. Um, yeah, Stacy, my lives, they replay. They do, they replay. If you actually ever want to watch any, just go onto my channel and I think it's next to videos. It says lives. You can rewatch it. I'm probably only gonna keep it up for like maybe an hour and a half. Um, 'Cause I was gonna actually like take a nice hot shower and throw some jammies on, maybe do one more load of laundry. I don't know, watch a little TV. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. The waiting list, KK, yeah, is crazy. Um, I know my one friend, he was up the road here a little bit. It was Ramada years ago. Now it's Red Carpet. And he was living there for 3 years till his name came up for him to get into the high rise that my mom was living in, actually, at one time. 3 years he lived in a hotel. Oh, thank you, Judy. I know. And you know what? We appreciate it. We really do. Um, it's just not easy finding a place right now. And every time I turn around, I go on these groups, there's like new people saying, like, oh no, my landlord decided to sell the property and said, oh, you don't have to move, but do you think I should start looking? And I said to someone, yeah, your old landlord may tell you you don't have to move, but the new one's probably going to say, get out. Thank you, Carol. You know what? It's like caught between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, stuck in a pothole because you really don't know what to do. You just you just don't know what to do. Oreo was sleeping with Ronnie. Yeah, it's just a not a good situation, and it's happening every day to more and more people. I could like maybe only go in those groups maybe 2 times a week, and I'll see new posts for like the few days that I wasn't on it. Some will say like, oh great, I found out my building's sold. Now what do I do? I've never been in this situation before. And like a lot of these people really truly don't know what to do. And there's just like so many people with Section 8. Hi Samantha. Yes. If he is working steady, yes it would. Um, let's say for example, if an apartment is eight well, I don't know. Let's say an apartment is 850. Um, so your total monthly household income would have to be 1750. And if both people's combined income doesn't reach 750, they won't even consider you for it. Yeah, I wanted to do it yesterday, and I dozed off. I think it was like about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I dozed off, and I woke up, and Ronnie says, it's like after 10 o'clock, or like, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh no, I said I was gonna go live for a little bit. Like, well, see, here's the weird thing, Joe. Um, you have such a small amount of time to work with. And then after that, you're like, okay, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Thank you, Joe. I will look for it. Exactly, music lover, because you know what? They aren't going to build housing for poor people because it doesn't make them money. That's that's the problem. It doesn't make them money. Well, thank you, Bunny, for popping on, and it was good to hear from you. Have a good night. Oh, God bless him, 99. Wow. Thank you. Take care. If you hear a weird noise, guys, I'm turning on the coffee maker to heat up some coffee. It's pretty quiet around here. There is dogs. We're in we're like at the bottom of the hill. There is a dog down at the other end, a big German Shepherd, but you really don't hear it. I heard it this morning. Someone in the back has a little miniature poodle or two. I've seen them today, but it's pretty quiet, which is good. I did want to go for a nice little walk in the woods, but it rained Saturday night, middle of the night, started raining. It rained all day yesterday, and it just got like so damp in here. Um, because of all the rain and that, it's just like, ooh. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Basically, we're in a hotel, and I'm still looking for an apartment. And today I just almost lost it when I seen that apartment in Bloomsburg for 3,200. I'm like, what? Like, what? I thought I was seeing things. I went outside and like came back a few minutes later and I'm like, nope, I did see what I thought. 3,200. It's like if anybody is stupid enough to pay that, I think they definitely need some psychiatric help because you could put 3,200 towards like a down payment for something and you're going to pay that in rent. I'm sorry, but this is Pennsylvania and I really can't see what could possibly be in an apartment that is going to make it over 3,200. I don't care if they have a dishwasher and a bidet and like whatever. I don't care if there's gold faucets. Like we checked in Saturday evening. Time wise, it actually all worked out. I had said between 9 and 11 p.m. and we got there about quarter after 9. So it was, it all, in that sense, worked out. But we only have 2 weeks. So the morning of the 24th, we have to check out of here. So we've only been here since Saturday night and it rained, which stinks. And then poor Ronnie got the stomach bug. So yeah, we haven't been here that long. Hello, Margot. I'm so sorry I just noticed it. Thank you, Stacy. So, so do we. So do we. How are you, Margot? No, not yet, Margot. No, nothing. Nothing yet. Hazelton. Yes, Geraldine. I was born and raised here. Yeah. Um, McAdoo, Wolfsburg, Kingston, Scranton, even. See, a lot of the patch towns, like, are not good. They don't have, like, hourly buses. Um, and a lot of them just are, like, way smack in the middle of Pennsylvania. And if you don't drive, there's, like, no sense even going to look at a place because you're not going to be able to get anywhere you need to go. Hello, Nicola. Um, we're doing. We're doing. I don't even know, Stacy, because this was very expensive. This ran $1,072 for 2 weeks. And I checked my email today about the ERAP program, and no one, no one got back to me. They sent me a checklist, but they didn't have marked what other information they needed. And I said, well, it would help me if you tell me what else it is I need to send you because I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. So I double checked through my sent emails everything that I had sent out, and I thought, okay, they need maybe my statement from Social Security, so I sent that. Ronnie's statement from unemployment last year, I sent that. I don't know what else they could possibly like need. Um, I don't know because that's life, Stacy. If life went smoothly and uncomplicated, um, it would be very, very. It would be wonderful, but yeah, life just is not like that anymore. Yeah, I looked at a few studios too, and see here's the problem. Um, like they will rent to a couple, like boyfriend girlfriend or a married couple. But two people, like in our situation, they won't do like a studio, and some landlords won't do a one bedroom because they don't want someone sleeping in a parlor. It's just like ridiculous. And then two, the ones that are under 600, you usually have to pay for your gas heat, and the gas. can get pricey, especially if you're using gas for cooking too and hot water. If it's just, say like gas for cooking, um, you could use, say, like a toaster oven. You could use a slow cooker. You could use a bunch of different things and never even have to get the gas for cooking even turned on, and still be able to eat good. But most of these places, like, it's gas heat or oil. Now, electric wouldn't be bad. I've had electric heat before. That I didn't have an issue with that. I actually found that to be probably the most affordable. Hello, Maria. How are you? Oh, well, you know what, Maria? I'm in good company because every day there's a lot of other people that are just waking up to the reality that their landlord sold the property. Coaldale is a small town. Um, I don't even know how to get to Coaldale. I heard of it. I don't believe I ever actually was there. Um, yes, exactly. Yes. And of course, U-Haul, because they helped themselves to 182 bucks too. Yes, Stacy, I have one cat here because Red Roof doesn't charge for pets, and my female feisty is down my friend's house in Chimthorpe. I know, Geraldine, and that gets my goat so much. Just like riding around, even here in Hazelton, there are so many places that are like boarded up and this and that. And it's like, why didn't anybody buy it and fix it up? Or, why didn't anybody turn around and, do something with the property? We have a second hospital. Hazelton had two hospitals years ago. There was what used to be Hazelton General, which is now Lehigh Valley, and there was a Catholic hospital called St. Joseph's. That's where all my sons were born. Um, the nuns were very, very nice in that hospital. It was a smaller hospital, but very, very nice. Um, that shut down years ago, and different people have had plans to turn this hospital into like low income housing. Never happened. Senior housing. Never happened. They usually run out of money at some point, and it's they were starting to clean it out and everything, and then it's like nothing. We were at the apartment 3 years. When we moved there, we actually lived up on the second floor first, and the guy underneath was a jerk. And God forbid if you went to the bathroom in the middle of the night and the floor creaked, he would be banging up on the ceiling, yelling and cursing, like, knock it off. And oh, he was a whack job. And that's actually part of the reason why we moved downstairs, was because I just didn't want to deal with anybody doing that again. Yeah, he was a nutcase, Stacy, very much so. He wound up leaving. because Tony, who was the landlord at the time, said to him, "You're in an apartment building and you can't tell people when they can go to the bathroom or what time they should go to bed." He said, "I sat in that hallway," he said, "for like 4 hours and didn't hear anything." So he had said to him, "You're the one with the issue with noise, not people making noise for you." You know what, Michael? I did, out of curiosity. I did look at a few, and even they are going for like 500, 600 a month. And right now, Pennsylvania's numbers are bad, climbing bad. Um, I just heard today that there was actually a few kids in the Hazleton area school district that tested positive over the weekend for COVID. So whether or not Hazleton may close again, schools, I don't know. They just literally went back in. And now apparently there's a few kids that tested positive over the weekend. So you got to be careful and consider that too. That, like, if you rent a room in someone's house, you don't know who that person has been around. They don't know who you've been around. If you're working, they don't know what your risk factors are. And I don't know, it's like that's something that's very, very, like, I don't know, kind of iffy. He was used to living out in the boonies. Yeah, no, see, like, Michael, that's not a bad thing if you're in an area and your rates are not rising, but here in PA, yeah, uh, our numbers are climbing again. Even though there's a good amount of people that are getting vaccinated, I think it's up to, like, what did I see this morning? 186,000 or something. Skyline mobile home. I wish there would have been like a mobile home for rent around here. There is a couple of mobile home parks, but I went on specific like mobile home directories and checked that out. Oh, hi, Andrea. Thank you. Thank you very much. How is it going in New Zealand? McKean. I've never even heard of it. I honestly have no idea where that even is. I've never heard of that town. I'm going to take a guess and say probably central Pennsylvania because central Pennsylvania is more, I want to say more rural. Oh, Michael, let me tell you, I gave away a whole bunch of food. I wasn't cooking. I had no appetite. How can you eat when you're just so stressed out? You just can't. you don't even realize you didn't eat. You're just like so, you're just so, your mind is so preoccupied, you don't even think about food. So I gave a friend a whole bunch of food because I wasn't cooking. I just like, no, it is stressful, Mike. It is. It's not a good place to be in. And it's honestly something you don't really prepare for either, to be honest, you know? Red Cross here locally, helps like if you say we're in a fire, something like that, and you're in like a homeless situation, but not in a situation like this. Well, that kind of got put on hold because my friend is dealing with an eviction up here in Pennsylvania. She's going to be getting cancer surgery soon, and her husband refuses to sign the divorce papers, even though he has his girlfriend pregnant. And so, yeah, I don't know. That just does. I mean, I could see her going at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like that just, you know, there's just too much going on in her life up here in PA for her to just be able to go. There isn't, Margot. There isn't anywhere. And the reason it's going to get so much worse is because back when there was the housing crisis, early 2000s, nothing was done about it then. So now, fast forward 10 plus years, and it's just compounded more and more. By this summertime, by the end of June, when the eviction moratorium is probably not going to be renewed, there's going to be a disaster in every town, every state. It's going to be a serious disaster. Most of our yeah, pretty much my washer and dryer, our beds, dressers, a lot of boxes, household stuff, canned goods I have in storage. Yeah, and Ronnie paid my friend to let us store our stuff in her. It was her husband's man cave where he used to watch his football games because it's a finished basement. It doesn't like leak, water doesn't like like come in on the corners or anything. So it's good and dry. It's a good it's a good place to actually store your stuff. Um, because we couldn't find any storage units around here, even outside of Hazelton a little bit. Yeah, well, see, Michael, like I said, landlords found out that the legal way around the eviction moratorium is if you buy a property or if you have tenants that are on a month to month, you can just do an eviction for no good cause just because you just want to. And the legal way around it is to say, well, I'm not going to renew a lease or I'm going to be selling the property. So I don't want to have any leases hanging over a new owner's head. and that's legal to do because that isn't covered by the moratorium. Thank you, Stacy. I actually am dealing with Catholic Charities here in Hazleton. The Wilkes-Barre office is the ones that are handling, um, oh no, wait, Catholic Charities. Okay, the Hazleton office is the ones that handle the food pantry. Um, Wolfsburg, they have some sort of um, low income housing or something, but that has a waiting list too. No, Geraldine, my mom was living with my oldest son, and my mom passed away while my son's wife was in jail, and she's out of jail now. And I haven't even heard from my oldest son. I messaged him last week and said that we were going to be at Red Roof for 2 weeks. And I didn't even get an acknowledgement that he even read the text message. You know, my son is renting that house over in Freeland, but his landlady has a house in Nanticoke for rent. It's in Facebook Marketplace. And my son better be careful because I think he's paying like 750 or 800 for his house. But she has one for rent May 1st in Nanticoke, 1100 plus oil heat. And I know my son wouldn't be able to afford that, especially with his wife not working. So, yeah, it's odd enough that CEO of Fair also has some sort of subsidized housing up there in Fair too. But again, there is waiting list for that too. Yes, Stacy, we do have a PO box. It is in the description box on my videos. If you click on any of my most recent videos, my PO box is in there. It's just such a, I don't know, not a situation I expected to find myself in at this age. Like, it's just, um, it's really just bizarre. Thank you, Linda. Oh my goodness. I never thought about that, Margot. You know what? I never even thought about that. I think, Michael, a lot of people are starting to realize that really money wise, they might be like one paycheck away from something like this happening. Um, or that at any time they could find out their building sold. Um, because like I said, a lot of the smaller landlords, like mom and pop, landlords are figuring, why not get out of it, pay off maybe, their home finally, things like that. Um, I could work on that, Asia. Oh my gosh, 595 for a three-bedroom in New York? Wow, that's like a rarity. Yeah, you know what, Judy? I can actually work on that tomorrow. Um, yes, Asia, I will take the time tomorrow to work on that. I'll put something up in the community. Wow, I wish that was in New York. I mean, there's Edwardsville, Pennsylvania. That would be good. A three-bedroom for 595 in New York. I'm astounded. That's like unheard of. Hotbeds. Huh, I'm not familiar with that site, Lisa. Let me, you know what, let me actually write that down. That's one I'm not familiar with. And that's exactly how it's spelled. I just typed in hotbeds. Hmm. Um, I know I found one by accident about 2 weeks ago called Zumper. Very weird name. Um, yeah, I didn't expect to come across that one, but it actually came up in a search, and I was like, Zumper. Okay. If I can find my pen, I have like about 30 of them with me, but when you need one, can you find it? I have like everything in here but the old sink. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I will definitely check that out. You know what? That cottage in New York, I wish it was in Pennsylvania because that sounds nice. Three-bedroom cottage for 595. I can't get over that in New York. That's like unheard of in New York. Darn, I wish that was in Pennsylvania, definitely. Hmm. No, it may be maybe like a short-term rental, maybe like a vacation. I'm thinking because it's on a lake, it might be like a vacation property, maybe like a um might be for like a month or two, maybe like a Airbnb kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think it's a scam. It could maybe be more like a vacation. Um You know what, Lisa? Thank you for telling me that because I noticed some discrepancies with Zillow and Truly and myself. Even when the Harrison Street was actually up for sale, I noticed they had like conflicting information on their sites, and I thought, like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. See, that would be wonderful for a vacation. I mean, that's very, very reasonable, especially for New York. Like, that's wow. No, Michael, there is rent to own in Pennsylvania. Um, they're not all that common though, but there is rent to own. Um, even some people in them situations are kind of getting pressured to get a loan and pay off like whatever difference they have. Um, my one friend, she's been in a rent to own for about 17 years. I think she has a 30-year uh, deal, but she doesn't trust the guy that she's been dealing with anymore. And when he dies, the properties go to his son, and she doesn't know the son like she does the dad. So she's, I guess, pressuring her son to see if they could get a loan to pay off the difference. But I don't think they're going to because of the fact that her son's the one working and she's on SSDI. She has MS. So I don't think they're going to be able to borrow like $30,000. I don't. Home Partners of America. Now, see, my friend went through a private person. America. Huh. I never heard of that, Lisa. Thank you. And then another thing you have to be careful of now too is people scamming people out of money. It's really getting bad up in Scranton, in Lackawanna County, up in Wilkes-Barre, Luzerne County. Um, People are really, really hesitant now about like wiring money to someone, and you can't blame them. I mean, yes, there is a pandemic, but I think you can safely go look at property and you can safely sign the lease and give someone money. Um, so I don't necessarily think that one has to like wire money. I'm sorry, I wouldn't do that. There's just been too many scams. Well, see, we would have to go through the paperwork for them to. And I think the difference with that homeless camp that they were put in hotels, that's why we couldn't get into the hotel that was a little bit cheaper. Um, like there was, I don't even really know how many. I just know it was the first time that I ever knew of that whole hotel being booked. Um, that was just crazy because you have to go through like the paperwork process. And the weird thing is, they usually only pay for a few nights. But now, like I said, with the EBRAP program, and this is what I kept seeing online, it was saying about extended stay motels. But what if you don't have extended stay motels in your area? I'm wondering, do you have to keep moving like back and forth, like switching? And because who wants to keep doing that? That's just crazy too. Lisa, actually, beginning of March, I did contact like Century 21, some different real estate companies, and most of them don't in Hazleton actually have apartment rentals. If they do, it's usually more of like corporate um, rentals. Like maybe some business been coming to the area for a few months, so they do like a short-term corporate rental, for X number of months, and they're usually pretty pricey. They're not like an apartment that the average person would be staying in per se. Well, now, when you say managers, Lisa, how would you find out who is a property manager? Um, like, do you mean like a specific agency? Um, because locally, the real estate companies are all about selling. They're not in the business of rentals. Really, Michael, what was the agency that paid for them for 60 days? It was probably CEO or Catholic Social Services. Yeah, I heard about that from like one of my friends who said that there was a homeless camp that was shut down. Um, like I said, it wasn't on news, wasn't in a local paper. It was very, very low key. Huh. I'm gonna have to look into that, Michael. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Definitely worth looking into that. Um, the bad thing about things like that, though, is when people's 60 days are up, what, they're right back to probably being back at the homeless camp, you know, unless they have something more permanent for people. It's like a revolving door. You're in the woods and then you're in a hotel. You're in the woods, then you're in a hotel. I will believe anything about a forced stimulus when I see it. I don't believe anything. I really, truly don't. No, you're right, Michael. You are right. That is true. That is true. Stacey, my opinion, and while I'm appreciative of the stimulus, trust me, because it was a blessing to receive them. But when this all started with that back last year, I think they should have done something on a monthly basis for people rather than a big check here, a check there. I think it should have been something a little bit more consistent. Property management. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. See, now that kind of stuff, Lisa, was not really explained to me. So thank you for explaining that. I will put it in 1 second, Geraldine. I see, was it Ontario? Close their schools again because of their numbers getting bad. Yeah, you know what, Margot? I think it would have been better if they had done it for a few months consistently for people as compared to like one here and then 5 months later, one there. And yeah, no, you're right though, Margot. That is true. Hello, Heather. How are you? Yeah, you're right, KK. I said, yeah, I believe it when I see it. Yeah, here, Geraldine. I will put it in right now, right here. There it is, Geraldine. I'm doing, Heather. I'm doing. Have had a lot better, but you know, no, we didn't find a place yet, but that doesn't mean I'm not looking. Yes, Asia. I actually just went to, of all places, I actually went to Dollar Tree and got like a bunch of different microwave stuff because we have a microwave here. We do have a good sized refrigerator with a little freezer. Unfortunately, like my slow cooker and that is all stored down my friend's house, and I really didn't know if I should bring it here, so I really didn't want to get in any trouble, you know. Some of them, yeah. I mean, there is cheaper ones here in Hazelton, Michael, but I wouldn't trust them. You would probably get robbed the second you leave your room, or they're just known to have a history of, drugs and yeah. Yeah, see, music lover, that's the thing that is getting a lot of people right now, this 3 times what the rent is, because they're factoring in the utilities as well. Um, what makes that tricky, for example, is okay, say for example, a studio apartment is say maybe 1 bedroom, but there's like a living room or dining room. Say the rent is 695, but the heat is gas. Could run you maybe like about an extra 200 a month plus your electric, say your internet, your cell phone, whatever. You're talking over grand easy. So, like they will, there's 2 different ways some of these places are doing it. They will either be like, they will rent to a couple, say like a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a married couple. But not, for example, say like me and my son, because we are not a couple. Technically, we would need like a two-bedroom. I guess they just have a problem with someone sleeping in a parlor. I don't know. I not like I entertained like, hundreds of people every week or something. Like, really, there were months that my son Bobby camped out in my parlor. I didn't even walk in my parlor. So it's like, why should it matter if, you sleep or you don't sleep in a parlor, really? Who's gonna know? Who's gonna care? Um, and then I think some of them are just like so small that they, are just like, yeah, no, no, this is only for like one person. And it's like, huh, okay. Hello, Debbie. How are you? Hi, Susan. How are you? I'm doing, Julie. I'm doing. Hmm, that's interesting, Lisa. You're absolutely right, Heather. Yeah, many people do, especially if you have a spouse or, a boyfriend or, a partner who, like, say, works at night and you don't. You're going to be up and awake and they're going to bed. So, yeah, you would honestly think that, right? Like, some people do have a bedroom and fall asleep in front of their TV every night anyway. So, it shouldn't really matter. Thank you, James. We appreciate it, sweetie. Thank you very much, and tell Ralph we said hello, and we hope everything is good for you guys. Why would it be illegal to rent a studio or one bedroom? That's crazy. Why would it be illegal to rent a studio? Especially if your child is young. I mean, oh, okay. Yeah, I remember Section 8 having issues about that. One of my friends had a daughter after having two boys, and they were really bugging her to get like a three-bedroom because her daughter was in her room with her for like 2 years. Geraldine, my honest opinion right now about landlords is that they have people by the balls. They really do. Everyone is at the mercy of them. They can do whatever they want because it's their property. They get away with it because there's no more rent stability in most states, there's no rent control, and like they can do whatever. But no, you are right, Geraldine. Yeah, it's like I say, and it's not all. Like I'm not bashing all, you know? I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. I've had enough of the good ones in my life to know that there is. But like these newer ones are just they're different. They're very different. You know what, Terry? I actually did a specific search looking for like modulars, trailers, and that. And within, say, like a 30-mile radius, no. Now, a few people were selling them, and like some of them looked like really, really good. They had like, maybe like some new wiring done or a new roof put on. Someone in, what was the name of the town? Fleetwood, I think it was. I didn't even know where that is. Was selling one for 8,900, and it was a 3 bedroom, and I was like, oh my God, it was like really, really nice. Um, but again, I don't even know where this town is. Probably again, central Pennsylvania. I've never been there, don't even know how to get there, what's close to it. Like, yes, I know she did say that in her last video that she was moving, and I said, well, that's wonderful. I said, good luck. Well, I thank you for the vote of confidence, Heather. You're more confident than I am, so I am thanking you for that because I have my moments where I'm kind of like, a lot of it is greed. A lot of it is greed. These people are just buying up these properties, thinking that it's going to turn out so great for them investment wise. And I'm going to laugh down the road when this bubble busts. Oh, yeah. Like you would have been on the couch. Exactly, Heather. There's like a lot of cute little towns in that here in PA, but if they don't have buses, um, how are you gonna work if you don't have a car? Might be okay for someone on a fixed income who can like grocery shop online and whatever, and not really need to, like go into town, say very often, but you still have to go to like a doctor. There's still gonna be times you need a ride and things, and so yeah. That's the one issue about that. Well, thank you, Heather. I am glad that you are confident in our ability. I take that. I thank you. That's good. Yes, it's very quiet, Stacy. There is dogs. There's dogs in the back. There's a German Shepherd down on that end. Um, it is a very quiet area. Yeah, that is true, Heather. You are right. It's just, oh my God, it's nerve-wracking. Well, see, that article though, like had me in it, but it was about utility shutoffs. And don't necessarily think that a lot of people read that. That's actually a very good idea, Terry. You know that's actually a very good idea. That is a really good idea, Terry. I'm gonna think about that one. That's a good idea. Well, where we were living on Harrison Street, the people that lived upstairs over us had a little boy, and on the weekends, forget it. That child didn't go to bed before like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And it would get annoying because this kid would be running like through the hallway, back and forth, this and that. And it was just like, oh my God, shut up and go to sleep already. Um, it got to be annoying. It really did because there usually wasn't like small kids in that building. Oh yes, Geraldine. Yeah, yes. The girl who has our stuff stored in her basement is who has Feisty. That's actually a very good idea, Margot. See, here's the weird situation too. A lot of things, like say 2 years ago, like you might have been able to make a deal with someone, maybe for like a few weeks or something, stay here, stay there, do this, do that. COVID changed everything. Um, like for a lot of people, like, um, like doing something like that would be like a, no brainer for them. But, then with COVID and everything, it's like, um, well, do you do a temperature check, before somebody goes to the door to, clean, or do you do this, or do you do that? I mean, this pandemic just changed everybody's life in different ways, and like, you don't know. Well, that's good, Heather. That is good. I think everybody dreads that in the summer because sound carries, people are outdoors, and like, yeah, I know even in our neighborhood, like you could hear people talking sometimes like several houses away and everything. Yeah, it is the worst possible time to have to move. Yeah, I know, Michael. I know. Um, I've been seeing that all over the internet, all over. I would anyway. I'm due the 21st for mine. Um, because you honestly don't know who you're around unless it's like family or friends. You don't know who did get one or who got two. You don't know who did or didn't get it. And that's why the hesitation about just like renting a room in someone's house because you could be vaccinated, but the people living in the house might not be. You may be at risk, and maybe they have somebody in their family who's very, very, like high risk. That opens up like a whole bunch of, you know, things like, well, I think, Heather, there will come a point where we're not going to need them. But the problem is going to be that percentage of people that just refuse to get it. That's gonna um, keep it prolonged, I think. Yeah, I nowhere near feeling comfortable to not wear one. Definitely. Like, yeah, nope. Oh, definitely. Definitely, yeah. I'm nowhere near comfortable to just, you know, like go in somewhere without, like, no, no. Yeah, it's, if anything is gonna keep it prolonged and hanging around, it's going to be the percentage of people that don't want to get it. So yeah, I think it's going to be around for, I want to say probably a year or two more. I really do. Really, really do. I think at some point it may mutate to a lesser form, not being, as deadly, not being as serious. But I think that it's going to be around for like another year or two. You're probably right, Michael. Here in Pennsylvania, I believe it is the 15th or the 19th that um, everyone over the age of, what is it, 16 or 18 is eligible for it. And I had said to Ronnie, I said, by the time I would be going back for my second, he should be able to get his first. No, I understand, Heather. And you know what? Um, there's a lot of good reasons for people that they don't want to get it or don't want to get it now. And I completely respect that. Um, Now you're one of the few ones who, aren't getting it, but you wear a mask in that. So, like, you're the rarity because, like, around here in my town, it's like the people that are like, oh, I'm not getting it. They don't wear masks anymore. They don't do like anything. So you're in a rare group of people. Um, Believe me, you're a rarity. Well, you know what, Michael? My uncle had Alzheimer's and he was tested 3 different times. Um, the third test, he was negative, but then 8 hours later, he was admitted to the hospital. He was having trouble breathing, and in 36 hours, he passed away. It shut down his kidneys, it shut down his lungs, it destroyed him. Well, you know what, Geraldine? See, I'm kind of on the fence about that in certain situations. I'm kind of on the fence about that because, for example, I think children should, when they go back to school in person, I really truly do. Unless, of course, they have an allergy to something with it like that, like with other vaccinations. But I really honestly think children should. I think people in certain professions need to be. Um, I think if you're going to travel, you should have the vaccination because you're going from, one country or one state to another state. And I do think in cases of like travel and that it is important. Um, but to get to the point of like, well, you can't work unless you have a vaccine or that is all, illegal. But I think when it comes to travel, I think kids in school, then I think maybe with the kids in school, it should be mandatory. Um, because there's like just so many more kids getting sick now and for travel. But I mean, like, no, I don't think people should be forced or be like, oh, well, you can't leave your house unless you get the vaccine. Yeah, that's not going to go over, and that's hopefully, illegal. People still have the right to, say no. They may not be able to go to concerts though, or they may not be able to go to certain things because of it. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Like I said, in certain situations, I could see the good of, saying that you have to have the shot, and I can also see the downside to it. So I'm sort of on the fence with that in different situations. You know what I mean? And that's going to be like a really touchy subject. It really, really is. That is absolutely true, Michael. You're absolutely right. And no, people shouldn't be forced to. I'm saying like I can see in the case of like travel, yes, I do feel that that should be a requirement. Um, and certain jobs and everything, yes, I do feel that it should be required. But I mean, if it goes so far to something like, oh, well, you can't, you know, go see this show or something unless you have proof of a vaccine or whatever. I mean, I don't know, I'm on the fence about things like that, like for the Google Chrome and the damn ads. Um, the important things, I could see it being required: school, travel, certain jobs. Yes, Geraldine, yes, but also just because people have a vaccine, they should still wear a mask anyway, too, so it's like a two-way street thing. Oh, I agree with you, Heather. Yeah, so many kids have hated this remote learning. Not every child does good in that kind of an environment. Um, some kids, I guess, that were bullied and that found it to be a relief, and then other kids who are more social, really, it's been very, very hard for them. You know what, Lisa? I don't even remember, but I remember getting my kids a lot of vaccines before school started. Yeah, that has been very, very hard on kids. It really has been. Um, Even my granddaughter hated it. There was always issues with it. And she had said she didn't like it. Yeah, now see, like I said, Michael, I could see in cases of like travel states or out of the country where I could see where maybe it should be required simply because some states have, had like so many bouts of high rates and then low, high and then low. You're coming from a state like that going into a state that maybe has had, much lower numbers. I think, you know, yeah, in that particular sense, like I think it should be mandatory because you're keeping track of who's coming in and who's leaving and you know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing, I think. And the same with schools, like even colleges. I think it should be because of how sick younger people are getting now. But I mean, and obviously like certain professions like medical people and that and people working in stores and that the people who have a lot of contact with the average person, I think they should, get it. Um, it's for their protection as well as everyone else's. But like you can't force people. No, I did hear of an exception to that, and I believe it was New York, and I believe it was a smallpox vaccine many years ago, where a certain town in New York was forced to get people in the town were forced to get the smallpox vaccine. Mm, I didn't know that about homeschooling. Yeah, you know what? I didn't hear much of it when I was a little girl. Um, I don't know if it was illegal though. I'm curious about that too. I would like to know about that. Well, the Amish had their own schools technically. So I don't know per se if that was really considered like homeschooling because they had their own schools on their property and that. I'm not by the Amish people, Michael, but Lancaster, Pennsylvania, that is one of the areas that do have um, Amish and Mennonite communities. Not here around Hazelton. There is some by Ellisburg, Catawissa, down that area, but Lancaster is a big area up that too. Hello, Jerry. How did you do with the second dose of the Pfizer? Oh, okay, Lisa. I'm sorry. I guess I misunderstood too. I apologize. Um, but when I seen you mention about homeschooling, I really don't remember hearing much about that. When I was a little girl, I think in high school, I knew of two people that graduated with me, that actually were homeschooled. One girl had a nervous breakdown, and the other girl had mono and had so many problems with her spleen that they didn't think being in school was safe for her. Um, my mom actually stayed at a B&B in an Amish community, Michael. Um, she had actually enjoyed it. She said it was a little odd, certain things weren't around, but she had just said like the food tasted so much better, and like even the shampoo to wash her hair, it just everything seemed like so much better because it didn't have all the chemicals and processing and everything in it. Um, he's doing, trying to be, just taking it one day at a time, trying to be. Oh, well, that's good, Jerry. Yeah, Heather, he just has a bit of a stomach bug, today. But yeah, he is trying to be positive. It's hard sometimes, but hey, try to. Well, you know what? That is true. Everybody has some type of skeleton in a closet, and you wonder. I'm sure they have their, secrets and things too. All right, everyone. Well, I stayed on a little bit longer than what I intended, but I just wanted to touch base with everyone and let everyone know that we're here and we're doing. Um, I'm gonna actually be working on a video tomorrow. Before I left, April's Birchbox came at the apartment, and I actually am going to do April's Birchbox unboxing tomorrow and upload that. Um, so yeah, and hopefully it warms up a little bit during the week. I would like to do an outdoor video or two. It's all dependent on the weather. It's been chilly, and unfortunately, like my heavy leather is packed away down my friends. I just brought hoodies, and I really haven't been out all that much. It just gets like so cold quick. No, Jerry, nothing yet. Nothing yet. Um, oh yeah, all my lives are up Asia. I never take them down. If you go on to my actual channel and you will see like videos, there's a separate little column that says live. They're all up from the very first one I ever did. They stay up. But don't worry, guys. If we hear anything good, believe me, you guys will all be the first to know. Thank you, Heather. Um, thank you, everyone, for coming on tonight. Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with everybody, and tomorrow evening, I'm trying to have that video uploaded by say 7 o'clock. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much for everything tonight, guys. And I will see you all on my next one. So good night, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.